Okay, I have been talking to MAGA for years. So you are going to listen to me when I give you a postmortem of the election. And I will prove right now why you need to listen to me. Look at this. So when they talk about, oh, Trump got the indigenous vote, he got the indigenous vote. I know why. This is an interview I did in Washington, D.C., J6.
We're the Lumbee tribe from North Carolina, and we've been trying to get federally recognized. And he actually made a trip to Robinson County, and he said to himself, he said, I will get you guys federally recognized. We do have a lot of people working, but there's a lot of people that are poor. And if we got federally recognized, that would help us. That would help people with insurance.
So a Medicare for All plan, that wouldn't help your tribe at all?
It would.
So Medicare for All would actually help you?
Would help our tribe, yes it would. And if we became federally recognized, we would have that.
Okay, so Medicare for All needs to pass, and then you need to get federally recognized.
Yes.
And then your tribe can have access to health care.
Yes.
A lot of people are doing this post-mortems. What did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? You know, maybe we weren't to the left enough. Maybe we weren't to the right enough. We'll get to that. We don't have a messaging problem. We have a platform problem. You're going to listen to me talk about this while I play with my dog. So strap in. And yes, you did a funny. Come here. You're a baby. I mean, we messaged. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about abortion. We talked about climate. We talked about Trump felon. We talked about immigrants. There's a lot of things. But you know what? Right-wing spaces have much more reach. Look at this thing right here. Wired magazine did this. That's me. That's everyone else. This is the reach that these influencers have. I can't compete with that. I cannot compete with Elon Musk, Fox News, New York Post. I cannot compete with this right-wing propaganda machine spouting this all the time. Progressives suffer from this repeatedly, where they think that the truth will just win out. A lot of you are watching this and thinking, well, people are just going to see how bad Trump is, and then they'll go, oh my God, Trump's so bad. No, because they will control the narrative. They are already controlling the narrative. As bad as things get, they will spin the narrative and twist it around, find a scapegoat. And there's always a scapegoat. A little funny. Come here. Drop the ball. Drop it. Drop it. I mean, listen, don't be too hard on yourself. Did you buy Twitter and then turn it into the bowels of 4chan? No, you didn't. Did you say you were going to be a one-term president and then say, nah, I think I'll run again, and then have to drop out at the last minute, giving your predecessor 100 days to run a campaign? No, you didn't do that. So cut yourself some slack here. The right wing has been nailing people for years. They've been nailing people on immigration, transphobia, inflation, oil drilling, liberal city crime. No pushback. Progressives have not pushed back on this, rarely if ever. I pushed back on it, but I'm just when it's being said everywhere, we obviously cannot trust, we could never really trust legacy media, but we obviously cannot trust them to be good at counter messaging. We need to do this ourselves at this point, because at this point, they have not pushed back on so many issues with regards to crime. Everyone, the problem is, as progressives, I have been screaming this for years, most normal people don't hear about these crazy QAnon conspiracies and these talking points until they become mainstream. They get said, then they get said again. Then they are said again and again and again. Okay? They get fact-checked, then they're said again. And they don't care about getting fact-checked because, you know what? They got the bigger platforms. They can say this again and again. They know that their people are siloed, and it's not going to make a difference. If you're a progressive thinking the truth is going to naturally just win out, you're delusional. Moving somewhere. Fascism is taking hold. The MAGA movement is indoctrinating people around the world. Canada's about to elect their version of Ron DeSantis. So, No one's moving to Canada. And if you tell people in Canada that you're moving there to escape white supremacy, they will look at you strange. I have said this to my Canadian friends. People look at me like, are you out of your mind? Like, well, what are you talking about? Like, you're gonna move here to escape white supremacy? No, you're not. Like I said, I tried to explain to people that immigrants pay taxes, undocumented immigrants pay taxes. I tried to explain to people that under Trump, we drilled for 4 million barrels a day, and under Biden, we were drilling for 12 million barrels a day. No one believed me, okay? They have controlled the narrative. I need people to wake the fuck up. There needs to be intense counter messaging. A lot of us can focus on, oh, it's racism. I'm not gonna say it wasn't racism. 62% of white men in this country voted for a candidate that does not believe in climate change. 62% of white men do not think climate change is a real thing. That is fucked up. Climate change is going to kill us all. And it will probably accelerate so bad in the next 4 years that I actually woke up at 5:30 this morning thinking about how bad climate change is going to get after Trump takes office. If you voted for Trump, you do not believe in climate change. If you believe in climate change, you know that it is imminent and that it is happening right before our eyes. If you voted for Trump and you somehow believe in climate change and reproductive rights, like, that is a messaging issue. That, listen, I don't think we messaged poorly. We just didn't message loudly enough. We ignored the warning signs. We didn't message soon enough, right? By the time Kamala took over, everyone had been propagandized into thinking that immigrants are sucking us dry. They're not. The contributions they make far outweigh whatever benefits they're getting. What they're paying in taxes through ITIN numbers, all of those things. By the time Kamala had taken over, you got to work against all of that. They think we're not drilling enough. If you're a progressive, you're upset with Biden for all the drilling he's doing. If you're a conservative, you're like, damn, Biden's not drilling enough, okay? And I think I need people to understand this. I need people on the left to understand this, because when I am a leftist and people bashed me because I was, voting Democrat and all, and my biggest issue is, listen, the other side thinks Biden isn't drilling enough. If you were mad at policies he was doing, if you were mad that people were getting deported under Joe Biden, just know that the other side did not think he was deporting enough people. Stuff like that. Not that Joe Biden is our savior. Joe Biden put $500 billion into fighting climate change every year. He put $150 billion into student loan forgiveness. All of that's going away now. We are going to be subjected to the biggest disinformation campaign we've ever seen. Elon Musk is going to work hand in hand with this. Fox News, Joe Rogan, all of them, Tim Pool, they will all work in concert. A bunch of people sent this to me and mentioned me in this video. Look at this.
So Trump gets elected president. Hamas calls to end the war. Bitcoin shoots to the highest it's ever been. The stock market shoots to the sky in record numbers. And then Vladimir Putin says he's ready for negotiations to end the war in Ukraine. He hasn't even stepped in office yet. But yet, he's racist, and Kamala Harris is ready to do change when she's been there for 4 years with Biden. And this is why I just get annoyed with people that are fake politicians and just go off social media. Oh, let me guess, he's racist, but he used to date black models and dated one publicly. I got it.
First off, Vladimir Putin did not call Trump to make a deal, okay? Vladimir Putin said, hey, my terms are still my terms, bro, because there's no political fallout for Vladimir Putin continuing and even escalating this war. If Trump keeps this war going for 6, 12, 18 months, there's huge political fallout for him. And also, Hamas didn't call to make a deal. Hamas called and said, hey, can you get Israel to stop attacking us? Because Trump famously went to Netanyahu and said, hey, keep it up until after the election. Don't make any deal. I'll get you the deal after the election. Hamas basically called and said, hey, now that the election's over, can you do the thing that everyone else has been trying to do? Can you get Netanyahu to make a deal after you told Netanyahu not to make a deal? And the part about the stock market is just so funny. Stocks go up after the election. Some of my stocks went up, some of them went down, right? These are the people that are giving advice to children on the internet. This is a guy who doesn't know that you buy stocks before the election because some of them will go up, some of them will go down. Like the election, this has normally always been the case, except in 2000 and 2008, when we were at the start of a recession, whereas, the other elections when we were coming out of one, you get it. It's so funny. A lot of people are saying, we need to embrace populism more. Yes, but we need to educate our citizenry on what is populism. People have different ideas of what populism means to them. To me, populism is investing in the working class, helping small businesses flourish, and not giving tax breaks to corporations. Right? However, to right-wing populists, they're scared to tax the rich, to tax corporations, because they think, oh, they're not going to hire people. When, if you're on the left, you know damn well that whenever they've gotten tax breaks, they've always spent it on stock buybacks that benefit the executives, the C-suite. These same, right-wing populists, they think that drilling for oil and fracking brings jobs. It doesn't bring jobs, it brings seasonal employment. What should the left do? The left needs to start organizing the way Moms for Liberty organizes. They need to start organizing the way that all of these right-wing groups organize. They don't particularly hit them hard with purity tests. I'm a little sick of the purity testing that goes on. We need to be coalition building. Purity testing, you know what? If you were in the pro-Palestine movement, you shouldn't let someone who is an avowed white nationalist into your movement, obviously. However, we need to chill with the purity testing. Being a leftist is not a competition, and over the years it's become this competition. In my mind, I love leftists. We're never going to agree on everything. None of us agree on anything, to be perfectly honest. But I am kind of sick of online leftists where they don't show up to things. They couldn't tell you who their elected representatives are. They don't show up to primaries. They don't show up to primaries. They don't show up to elections. They tell everyone else, don't show up. Don't register as a Democrat and show up to the primary so that we actually get a progressive candidate. Yes, independent candidates are amazing, and I pray for the day that we get one, assuming we get to have elections again. Literally no one is optimistic about getting to have elections again. I'm a little sick of the online leftists. I love the organizing leftists. I met tons of organizing leftists. I have met them. They have canvassed. They petitioned the New York State Legislature. They have done the work. They have shown up day in, day out to get things done. And on organizing leftists, you have my full respect. Assuming that we actually get a good candidate, assuming that we actually get to do elections again, personally, I'd like it if the candidate is independent. If Democrats were smart, if the Democratic Party was smart, if the progressive movement was smart, they would run someone as an independent, or they would run a candidate that is seen as an outsider with no experience. Donald Trump had a very mythological status as an independent, as an outsider. He still enjoys that mythological status. When Republicans, I've spoken to thousands of Republicans at this point. I've spoken to thousands of people that are MAGA at this point. They want an outsider. They call the Democrat-Republican Party a uniparty. They're close to the point and then they just swerve off the road. Yes, uniparty, that's true and it's also not true. There are huge differences in the way that they vote. If you look at this is the thing AOC posted where she went to her constituents that voted for her and voted for Trump, and they gave their reasons. They wanted an outsider. They like AOC because she's viewed as an outsider, right? And that's not all of MAGA, by the way. So that's a subset. There are people within the MAGA movement that are genuinely committed to populism. Genuinely. Misguided, yes, all of it. But they are genuinely committed to populism and to working class ideals. There's a bunch of people in the MAGA movement that don't care about the working class at all. They're voting purely and openly to benefit the rich. There's people that just want Christian nationalism. Those people are lost to a possible coalition. You want the people that are actually committed to populism. I know somewhere, and I grind my teeth thinking about this. This is happening right now. Somewhere in some DNC meeting, they're like, hey, how can we pump up Gavin Newsom to be our candidate for 2028? We know that's happening right now. And you know what? If it came down to it, yes, I would vote for a Gavin Newsom. But we don't want that. We don't want that. You and I all know the Democratic Party is gearing up to do more of the same. They don't learn shit. I worked alongside people during the campaign, outside of the campaign. They weren't directly connected to the campaign. Consultants, organizers, canvassers, people with amazing ideas, people that understood that there is a genocide happening in Palestine, people that understood, what the working class needs, people that understood messaging, how the Democrat Party is horrendous at it. I wouldn't say horrendous, just non-existent. Those are the people that need to be elevated for this country to move forward. Where'd we go wrong in the election? People were upset. People were upset that there are two wars happening, right? I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I don't want you to get the wrong idea about MAGA with regards to Israel. A lot of MAGA was upset that there is a war going on in Palestine right now. And it's not because they're pro-Palestine. I've asked so many MAGAs about this, about supporting Israel, supporting Ukraine, all of that. Obviously the Ukraine thing they're very split on. Some of them are just propagandized to totally support Russia, and they think there's biolabs in Ukraine. Putin has done an amazing job propagandizing the United States citizens in favor of Russia. I mean, just amazing, really, the way he has paid off Tim Pool and other right-wing influencers. They see the war in Ukraine and Israel as a SEAL Team 6 mission. They all think that under Donald Trump, it will just be a SEAL Team 6 mission. He'll send in SEAL Team 6 and they will, shoot a bunch of people with silencers in the middle of the night, no Russian, all that stuff. I have asked tons of MAGA about this. Their attitude is, hey, stop micromanaging Israel. They would be done right now. They would have finished the job. Apparently Biden wasn't letting Israel do its worst. I don't necessarily blame Kamala Harris too much, given that she had 100 days to do this campaign. She had a bump when she first started. However, I had access to internal data from people that worked, alongside the campaign, consultants and all that, that showed that we were not moving the needle in key places like Pennsylvania. That's what caused this whole let's campaign alongside Liz Cheney and Mark Cuban thing in the final month of the campaign. I need to focus on self-care. I need to find a therapist. I've been raw dogging life. No therapist, no drugs, no alcohol. I definitely need to find a therapist. I think I'll do that today, between today and tomorrow. I got nothing but time. But I went to the Kith store and I definitely don't have that much money to drop. I was gonna spend money I don't have on just clothing, shopping, but Kith, that's a whole new level of spending money that I don't have. So that's not happening. So yeah, I mean, the one way to empty my bank, the fastest way to empty my bank account is to take me to a comic book store and just if you take me to a comic book store, I'm not gonna buy comics. I'm gonna buy volumes, hardcover, just, like that stuff on the bottom shelf that's like $50. And I'm just a psychopath. Like, I'll do it for comics that I have not even read. Okay, I'm getting this. I'm gonna cop this, see if they give me let's see if they give me a deal on it since it's already messed up. But yeah, I spend so much money on comic books. So yeah, not me spending a whole bunch of money that I don't have on comic books. This is a classic. This is a classic, by the way. Probably one of my favorite ever. Next to Saga. Boom.
15 different stories at the same time just to understand which one,
Yeah, no, this is wild.
really cool.
Cheers.
Enjoy, bro.
Have a great night.
You as well.
Lola, you okay? You okay, Lola Bear? Okay. Keep walking. There's another place that sucks all my. This Strand also sucks my wallet dry. I'm just remembering this. I was at CPAC earlier this year. It's been a long year. And I was at the Young Republicans meeting. And I definitely remember the speech this kid gave because like he was on the money. It's on my YouTube. If you go to me at CPAC, he's basically saying we're at a fight for the heart and the soul of this country. No lies there. He also said that we realize that we're not the Republican Party of yesterday. It's not just about taxes. He said we figured out that people aren't becoming conservative through their parents anymore. It's not parental. And it's not parental. It's not through your parents. And I mean, that made me perk up. He said, they're getting, they're coming to conservatism in different ways. Mainly internet, cultural spaces, things like that. I remember that. That was something to remember. So, this is not the Republican Party and the Conservative Party of yesterday. They know that they are not getting people into their party, into the MAGA movement through their parents generally. It's through something else. Hey, well played. And, there's a lot of talk about, these kids, Gen Z, there's a surprising amount of men that are conservative now. And it's, worrisome, obviously. And I think there's been this general assumption, I'm guilty of it, where we just assume children start off progressive, and then they move further to the right as they get older. That's the old wisdom. Someone pointed out to me the other day that there was the old wisdom. It's more like, as you get older, the assumption is as you get older, you get more money. And as you get more money, you become more of a dick. And you become more of a self-serving person. Bernie Sanders saying, we're not reaching the working class, per se. I love Bernie Sanders. He's half right, because we are not reaching them because we do not own the information. We are not messaging to them. We are not able to be, we are trying to message to them. We are not as loud. We are not as loud and as, listen, I don't think the Republican Party has better messaging. They are just lying. When I told people all of these things, no one believed me. Like, these are straight up facts. They think that, people think inflation started because of Biden shutting down the Keystone pipeline. That is so demonstrably false. They think that is what started that's what started the oil crisis, where prices spiked. No mention of the fact that Donald Trump got the Saudis and OPEC to make less oil and said, hey, produce less oil. Right? That was something I would say that, or that would be said in it'd be like, one of the comments of videos I would make about this. That was a murmur. And they messaged harder, they messaged louder and stronger. So we're not reaching these middle class, working class voters. They are, with the worst messaging ever. The wrong messaging, it's a lie, right? Keystone XL. When I explain to people that when I explain the billionaire tax cuts and everything, they're like, you're lying to me. This is something plain as day. Trump's billionaire tax cuts. They benefited corporations and billionaires first. They never expired. And any other tax cut is set to expire. So that is, whew, right? That is, people thought I was lying. People told me you're lying. Suppressing, when he tried to suppress black votes in Georgia and everything. The man, they have done a phenomenal job of making it seem like January 6th never happened. The amount of straight up propaganda about that is just mind-blowing. So, like when I said I was a sucker, so I went to Forbidden Planet. I got Ghost Fleet, Murder Falcon. These are all Image Comics, by the way. Never Ender. Is that Image Comics? That's not Image Comics. Ex Machina. I made them give me a discount because the edges are frayed. I also got this one. Granted, I know nothing about these. I'm just going off of vibes. I'm just spending all this money on them because of vibes. And also, if it's an Image comic, I'm like totally a sucker. So like straight up, I know nothing about this. I was just like, sure. Just, that's how much of a sucker I am. Like, I have spent, okay, so this is a lot of money to spend on comic books. Okay, my girlfriend's away right now, so she can't see that I spent all of this money on comic books. She can't see it right away. I'm about to go on vacation soon. I need a break. I've been working really hard. The date right haters in the comments blasting me saying I look like I need a break, and they weren't necessarily wrong. I've been running without a vacation, going hard for this election, going state to state, I was trying to make a difference. Just, I am going to give the biggest shout out to the labor organizers that stand this election. They went door knocking. I remember rocking with the black trade unionists in Pittsburgh. They went hard. AFL-CIO, SEIU in Pittsburgh and Detroit, other places. Like they went hard. There's a lot of canvassers and organizers out there that went hard. There were a lot of people working on the lower ends of the campaign that I got to spend time with that they get it. There's people that get it. They understand that there's a genocide in Gaza. They understand, that we are not reaching the people we need to reach. And, they want things. They want universal health care. They want good things, and we are not getting it. And they are not the leaders. They have prominent roles in the Democratic Party, but they are not higher up. They're not in the room when the major decisions are being made. It gives the impression that, that the Democratic Party is out of touch. At the top, absolutely, 100%. Hundo, the people making the big decisions up top do not know what they're doing and should not have jobs. I want a future, personally, that isn't, I think data is good. I think the Democratic Party their campaign was very data driven. What they did with that data, I don't know about that. And what they should do is, I would like to see a candidate that is, there's data driven to a point. I'd like to see a candidate, kind of just throw caution to the wind and just pop off and just say stuff. Say stuff to where America's going, damn, that's pretty real. Anyone else listening? This person just laid it down. You okay? You want a treat? Sit. You paw. No, paw. Yeah, just paw. Yeah, just paw. Why are you running away? You're running. She runs away. So to conclude everything, I am going on vacation for a week and a half. I don't know. I need a mental health break. I think we all do. And, this is just an interlude right now. There's a lot of, the real fireworks are going to start in January. It's important that we build community, not just for, the mutual aid benefit of that, but in knowing that you're not alone. It has helped the past few days to know that I'm not alone and that, this is a shared struggle. When I am outside of my immediate community, I get nervous because I look at 62% of the white men that I interact with. I go, 62% of you could be MAGA. Oh my God. You all walk among us. 62% of you could, want the worst for me, the worst for all of us. Yes. Until next time.